Hi everybody, welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 on the PC. This is of course the Flying Iron Spitfire, but in this video I want to compare Microsoft Flight Simulator with older World War II combat flight simulator, which is Il-2 Sturmovik 2 Cliffs of Dover, because there's no getting over this, and I've come against this brick wall that, you know, Microsoft Flight Simulator is absolutely amazing, but it's quite expensive to buy. It's like £60. Obviously you get it for free, sort of, if you subscribe to Xbox Game Pass. But the Spitfire cost me like £30, and I was thinking about getting the 109 Messerschmitt, but that was going to be about £30. I was like, there's got to be a cheaper way of flying around in World War II aircraft in a simulator. And I looked at the Il-2 Sturmovik series, but the latest one, the Great Battles, wasn't on sale, and so it was quite expensive to get a few of the things. And what I really wanted was bombers as well, because I've just watched the is it Masters of the Air, which was really cool. So I came across Il-2 Sturmovik Cliffs of Dover. Now this originally came out in 2010, but I think, but in 2017 they reissued it and I kind of brought it together with the, lots of mods that the community had created to make it much better than it was, to make it actually playable. And you can pick this up super cheap, and it includes loads of aircraft: Spitfires, Hurricanes, 109s, Stukas, 111 bombers, all that sort of stuff. And there's also the Desert Wings Tobruk DLC, which adds a few more aircraft, and North Africa as a combat area. And obviously you've got combat missions in this as well. It's not just a flight simulator. So I thought that's very exciting. And if you go over somewhere like CD Keys, you know, this is where I got mine from, you can pick up Cliffs of Dover for like £3.70 and the DLC for £14. Now the catch with these is that you really need a flight stick, because that's what they're designed to work with, and you've still got to do a bit of work setting it up. But luckily I got one of these, a T-Flight TOTAS X, for £15 second hand off Facebook Marketplace, so we're kind of good to go. So my plan in this video is to show you the Spitfire in Microsoft Flight Simulator. What we're going to do is we're going to have a look around the cockpit, we're going to take off, do a bit of low level flying, hopefully get up to height, show you what that's like, and then we're going to switch over to we're going to switch over to Cliffs of Dover so you can see the difference, and then maybe it might whet your appetite if you're thinking about getting into World War II flight simulator or combat simulators, that actually this might be a cheap way into it. So if we have a look around here, we can see that it looks absolutely fantastic. The level of detail in the Spitfire, very, very nice indeed. Really, really good. Looks beautiful. Comes with lots of liveries. Have a look outside. It's very, very nice. And of course, surrounding us is the beautiful, in this case, I think this is the West Sussex countryside, you know, and it's based on satellite imagery. You know, it's photorealistic to the time of today, but obviously we're not in, you know, if we're flying Spitfire, perhaps we want it to be 1940. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to try and get this thing off the ground. Now I'm notoriously crap at getting this thing off the ground. It likes to talk a little bit that way. So here we go. So I'm using my stick now. So we're going to bring up the throttle. See, if the thing I find really challenging is keeping it in a straight line. Lots of torque steer, I guess you'd call it. Let's take up the throttle a bit more. Tails up. Come up to 100. Pull back. Okay. Now, if I can remember the button that brings the gear up, I think it's that button. Right, gear is up. Right, let's nose down. Let's go back to first person. There we go. And this looked absolutely fantastic. Now, terribly sorry if there's a problem with the audio, because especially in Cliffs of Dover, I couldn't figure out how to quieten down the audio when I'm in the cockpit, so it might be a little bit loud. So in both of these games, you know, when you're down low, this is when you get a really good sense of speed. But what you see is when we go up high, there isn't always that much difference. But this, I mean, this looks fantastic, doesn't it? Looks really, really fantastic. If there are mods out there that change the south coast of England to 1940 so you can fight the Battle of Britain, then over kind of a realistic countryside. I mean, this would have been similar, wouldn't it? I guess the colours of the fields would have changed, because we'll have changed what we actually grow. So let's start taking this baby up. Get some height. There's the sea over to our left. I think that's Worthing maybe or something like that. Back to first person. Let's level her out. There we go. Let's just tip the wing a little bit so you can see. Looks fantastic. Okay, so let's pause this game there. Now, let's jump across to Cliffs of Dover. Now, what's going to happen is my Spitfire is going to be rolling along for some reason straight away. Right, here we go. So what we're going to do with this one is we're going to get her in the air first, and then we're going to have a look around. So, let's take the throttle up. Oh, I'll tell you what, we didn't mean to do that, did we? Okay, tell you what, let's let's restart that one. Oh dear, I think it's because I already had some throttle on when I switched over. Right, let's click. Okay, here we go. Let's go to third person. Let's put that behind there. Now, obviously, you can see that the detail on the ground is nowhere near as detailed as with Flight Simulator, you know. But I think you'll see when we start to get up. I've got my brakes off, haven't I? I don't know if my brakes are off. I think, yes, okay. I think my brakes are on. Okay, apologies for this. The HUD is very minimal in this game. Right, I tell you, before we start moving, let's check my brakes. My brakes are on. Right, our brakes are definitely off now. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Right, throttle. Get ready with the bit of rudder. Keep us straight. Wait for that tail to go up. Okay. Pull back on the stick. Up we go. Gear is that button. Let's go to first person. Right, so this is where you might not be able to hear me very well. But I think this looks great, yeah. Appear towards the front through the gun scope. And of course we have machine guns. Because although this is a free flight mission, we can do combat missions, sort of a campaign. Take it down a little bit. How cool does that look? There she is from the outside. Wow. Absolutely brilliant. Let's have a look at this cockpit. I mean, this cockpit looks fine to me. It looks very, very nice. Move the throttles, you can see. Do the rudders. Make sure we don't crash. Let's go to full power. Let's get up to a little bit of height there, and then we can have a look at how the landscape looks at altitude. Well, not low altitude, but a fair bit of altitude. Now, I've got the aids all turned on with this, so being a really complex simulator, you can have it so that you have to warm up the engine and you've got to make sure you use the right boost and the right fuel mixture and all this sort of stuff. I've kind of turned all that stuff. Look at that. Doesn't that look great? 1940s Hampshire, or wherever we are. Clouds are fantastic. South coast of England. Absolutely brilliant. You know, for the £3 and that cost me for the base game, I guess, you know, for the £15 for the hotels, I can see why this sort of thing is incredibly addictive. And that's even before we start getting into combat. So let's have a quick look out the window so you can kind of see what it looks like. And what we'll do, we'll pause this. Let's jump back into Flight Simulator. There we go. Let's have a look. Now, of course, there's more detail on the ground in this. I mean, this is modern day. In fact, this is modern day south coast of England. So there's a lot more roads. There's a lot more towns and stuff like that. A lot more variation. But I think we can probably agree that Cliffs of Dover does a pretty good job, doesn't it? And the fact that we have all the other planes in Cliffs of Dover as well, like the Messerschmitts, the Heinkel bombers, the Hurricane, and lots and lots of other stuff as well, that it makes it probably, and for my money, a really good budget way into World War II combat flight simulator, and just flying around anyway in the free flight mode. Okay, so what do you think? Put your questions and comments down below. Hopefully this video has been useful. If it has, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe, and I will of course see you again soon.